second guessing is over. I'm getting closer. Every door that was shut, heaven is open. High, high. Closed captions on every word spoken. Watching my words cause I'm chosen. And I cannot fail to commit. This is my time and I know it. I gotta show it. Shine brightest in the moonlight. Shine brightest in the nighttime. Been waiting on my time.
Peace, 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 family. How you all doing? I hope all is well with you. My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of Ascended Astrology and Psyching Up Astrology Coach. So today, I'm going to be discussing Lilith, Black Moon Lilith entering Libra, which happened on June 29th. And it'll be there until March 27th of 2025. Can y'all believe it? We're going to be in 2025. We're a little bit like halfway there. It's crazy. But Black Moon is a point, an astrological point in the atmosphere. It's what's hidden, what's taboo, that we don't want to be seen, what we don't see in ourselves. This can be family secrets, hidden family lineage, things not discussed, especially around like our ancestors and what they did and how they lived and what neighborhoods, what they looked like. So like ancestor stories, stories about the mother, about the womb, about nurture, secret pregnancies, secret abortions, secret stillborns, and people who can't have children. So like issues with reproduction, trauma, sexual abuse, incest. This could be things like revenge towards someone who manipulated you, or revenge for people who dismiss your sexual nature. If you people having like revenge for people who choose to have many kids, or just revenge for people who don't want to have kids. This could be revenge towards the idea of submissiveness, being submissive or not being submissive. This could also be like revenge and hatred, becoming a target for you being the black sheep of the family, which is the ability to carry out your ancestral lineage. Like your family could dislike you because you're more successful for them. And let me be very clear that success does not equate to having money, right? This could be like, say, somebody has a mom or an ancestor in the family who carried out this certain way about her that was very family oriented, and a lot of people didn't or don't really have the capability to carry out that idea that makes a family look like a family and pass it down from generation to generation. It could be stuff like that. The idea of success is just being happy in life, whether you have family or kids, whether you have a marriage or not. People don't like when you make them look bad. And when you make success, whatever that is, look easy, right? You become a target or the black sheep of the family because you're changing the generational curse in the family. Whereas people might be argumentative, can't get along with nobody, have problems in their own lives, and refuse to get counseling or get help or grow and evolve on this higher level of understanding of life and what it means to be, your better self, your higher self, right? It could be stuff like that. So it doesn't have to equate to somebody being successful financially. that obviously can be one of the things, but it doesn't have to be, right? And so if you're that person in your family, you could be a target, right? You can have, um, siblings who dislike you because of that. Or your mother dislikes you because she might feel like that's her job, but she's unable to. And this could even be like some jealousy, nitpicking, the back and forth, just not the ability to get along for these types of reasons, right? Um, and so that's the Black Moon themes. And then Lilith, there are many stories of Lilith. There are even 4 different kinds of Lilith. I am not going to get into all of that. I'm just going to stick with the status quo. If you want to do some more research, you can go look those things up. It's actually really interesting to get into. But the well-known story of Lilith is that she was the first wife of Adam. So this is the mythology of Lilith. She didn't want to be submissive. She wanted to be equal to him. She didn't want to be told what to do by him, so she left him. She set herself free from the patriarchy. And all patriarchy is represents the idea that a woman's value and worth is based on her relationship with her husband, right? And so she became unruly, untamed, and rebellious once she left him. He did try to get her back, but she declined and went and had a bunch of kids. She had a very sexual nature to her, and she was extremely fertile and did what she wanted. Adam asked Zeus to punish her by killing her children because they were demons, ungodly, and they were not created by him. And Zeus did that. And so she went into a rampant rage against anybody who did unnecessary things to people and children because of that, and men specifically, obviously, right? I feel like there's movies out that are based off of this mythology. So whenever you see movies that kind of have these themes, you should know this is a representation of Lilith. I feel like there are a few other asteroids and stories and mythology out there where they kind of have some similar storylines, but yeah, these are what a lot of these movies are based off of. And so she was liberated and free to be sexual on her own terms. And I think we can agree to some extent, not everybody, that this is the archetype of women today. We can see how this relates to feminism. I actually went back and did some research because I know for sure that feminism started with the South Node in Libra, which we are currently in a South Node transit right now and have been. And I think it ends in 2025. But essentially, I think on a grand scale, we're addressing these kind of feminist ideas. I think what we all have to understand is that it was a necessary evil, no matter how we look or feel or think about how this stuff might have transpired in this day and time and how we got to feminism. But I think it was a necessary evil for us to go through this process. I feel like it's that idea of having to walk a mile in one's shoes in order to be able to understand why it's important to own your femininity and be submissive. I'm going to talk about why that is, because I have this little article here, and if I remember, I'll post the article in the description box below so that you can look at it and see. But if you just look up, when did feminism start? If you Google that, you'll get a whole bunch of different articles on this topic. And I think it's important to know your history and how it all started, blah, 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 blah. So, in the 1600s, actually the 1789 to be specific, is when the first kind of idea of feminism first came about, which was during the French Revolution. It's pretty much the same story as I talked about on here before in reference to like the women's rights stuff here in America. Is pretty much women started to galvanize together because when the men were sent to go to war, they had no protection, no money, no support. And when they came back, they were alcoholics and couldn't protect or support. And so the responsibility fell on them anyways, but they didn't have any rights, right? And so a lot of the French women kind of started galvanizing together to ban alcohol and other issues related to men not being able to do their job, which led to them then banding together to fight against the laws that they had about them so that they can be able to take care of their family because men weren't in the positions to do so, right? And so it started with the French Revolution at that time. And then in the 1820s, it then trickled down to African American people doing the same thing. And that trickled down. And I think the first, oh, actually, it was the 1600s. Let me just check. It was 1820s and 30s for the African American to start doing the same thing. And they didn't actually get their rights until, I'm pretty sure it's 1848. Yeah. Wow, the 1960s. That's crazy. It took them all that time just to get rights. But anyways, and then after the African Americans did it, it was Chinese American people who started fighting for their rights. And so I just thought it was a little fun to add that little delicious fact in there. Because I think it states a lot to culture. I think most people are confused and they think that, the issues between what we consider the nuclear family is between men and women not being able to get along. I mean, maybe it is now today because we sold into that idea. But if you go back and do your history, this was really about culture and the patriarchy and how things work. It was kind of the breaking of the culture and the understanding of that nuclear family that was broken apart through war, right? And so it used to be that women would complain that men aren't home because they were always out working. And now, since the feminist movement, it's been switched to women not being able to breathe or take care of families or nurture families in a way that even support that idea of the nuclear family because they work too much. And I think, again, it's necessary for us to have this opportunity where we kind of downgrade it essentially, whether we see it that way or not. It's definitely a downgrade because we're not building, families anymore, or, the children are coming up with a lack of nourishment, education, knowledge, and all these things because we're the ones who are supposed to teach them that and we're not doing it, right? And so I was watching a few different videos on this topic and how people are viewing it today, and the importance of having healthy work-life balance, and the cause of economics being destroyed because of the lack of legacy being passed on. People don't know who they are, and so they'll naturally go to work and think that that's a goal, or they'll naturally go to school and think that that's a goal. Meanwhile, there are still so many people who are unsuccessful. And when you get down to the bottom of all that, it's all based off of this idea that there is no more nuclear family. I don't think that's everybody, because we also know that they sell us on television the idea of culture, which is ratchetness. And, that's another problem. But essentially, the bottom line is women had to see what it was like to be in a man's shoes to do it. And I think moving forward, we're going to see more people tired of it, but it still takes two working parents to have some kind of success, depending on what your success looks like, to be able to maintain that. And so regardless, there's no going back unless you have some kind of financial standing. And so when we talk about the Capricorn, the second Capricorn full moon, which is a black moon, you can rest assured that these topics are going to come up, and I should have that video out. I'm writing it now, maybe, hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have a video up. But this is why I wanted to dive into Black Moon, Lilith, and Libra, because essentially I wasn't going to, but I was like, this stuff ties together though, so why not? All right, and so Libra rules relationships, love and marriage, give and take, connections, partnerships, contracts, agreements, one-on-one interactions, counseling, legal matters, and it could be real estate, although most people might not see it that way, or what is the word I'm looking for? Or anyways, it's all your social interactions. It'll come back to me. It's your open enemies that disagree with you, don't share your values, and they don't like what you share, and they just don't like you. It's very intentional and obvious with Libra. And on top of that, Lilith is going to conjunct the South Node in Libra. The South Node is about releasing, completings, and endings to patterns in relationship dynamics and family, ancestry, legacy, friends, significant others, and all your social interactions. I think, again, we're going back to the way things were. I keep saying that. And again, it doesn't have to be that, submission is coming back where women don't have rights. But I do think that we're going to do it willingly, but maybe even with a little bit more support, like a support system, like when the neighborhoods used to take care of the children. You remember that? It was like back in the 70s, maybe early 80s, where when you went out, the neighborhood, the other parents had the opportunity to beat you if you did something wrong. And you had to be home before the lights went out, type of energy. I think that's what we're going back to, but we'll see. That's just my perspective. I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, but yeah. And as soon as Lilith moves into Libra, after being in Virgo, by the way, it's going to trine Pluto in Aquarius retrograde. And so we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of people facing their fears, honestly, patterns and unconscious emotional responses in relationships, learning from it, evaluating it, and allowing it to be transformed. So we're talking about the Phoenix rising here, which can also be another depiction of Black Moon Lilith on a higher vibration. Still powerful, still independent, still with your rights, again, and your ability to do what you want, keeping your sexual prowess or not. You know, whatever liberates or empowers you as a woman, I think you still get to keep those things, but there does have to be some level of connecting and what connections mean to you. And so this can be about addressing inequality, having conversations with friends, partners about what's not fair, about what you need more of. This can be about obsession, always needing connections or relationships or others, like it's never enough. Something is being shown to us about our unhealthy emotional patterns. And what we seek in others that we should be doing for ourselves. So we can have real, true, equal relationships. We have to address these things. And I think that's what the Aries North Node is about, is being self-aware, accountable, and again, honest with integrity about where you lack or what you're not good at, because it's all going to start with communication. You are not going to solve these problems overnight, but I think when you're open and honest about the areas of life that you struggle, you can continue to have conversations until it becomes normalized and you get better at it, because you're holding yourself accountable. This could also look like being able to take space in relationships when you know, I'm not, you know, your lack of something that I feel like I need from you is triggering me. And so retreat. You go into yourself, you address it with yourself, you have a personal conversation with yourself, and you be like, yo, like, what's going on? You know, talk to me. This could look like self-care, counseling, mentorship, having a friend to talk to, although I don't really know how I feel about that. Um, um, and just addressing the problems, maybe reading some stuff, educating yourself on these kinds of topics, emotional distress and depression, what it means to be emotionally aware and in tune with yourself, you know, things like that, to educate yourself. And then what can you do to implement whatever it is you're learning, consuming, taking in from others' opinions and suggestions and things of that nature, and putting them into day-to-day application, again, until it becomes normalized. And then Aquarius, on the high vibration, Aquarius is okay with doing its own thing. I think all air signs are, which this will be a grand trine that it's creating. So we're talking about Black Moon Lilith in Libra, Pluto in Aquarius retrograde, and what's the other transits? Jupiter and Gemini. How could I forget that? All air signs operate like that, and as do grand trines, as the energy of not wanting other people's opinions or to be not letting other people's words, opinions, or information to infiltrate what you feel like you need for yourself, but being okay with that. I feel like I could say that a better way. I'm trying to find another word. We just don't, air signs don't abide by other people's opinions, especially if they're opinions that don't relate to what you know you need for yourself, right? And so the high vibration of Aquarius can look like somebody who's aloof, um, doesn't want to be bothered with others, or just wants to be different, kind of tit for tat energy. But the truth is that they're truly and genuinely, uniquely, and authentically themselves, and they're happy about that. And when other people try to come in and be like, well, what you should do, or what you need to do, or what you could do, is like, no, what you can do is let me be. And this is why it's important for people to connect with others who are on the same level as you. I know that there's a lot of people out there who believe that it's important to have difference of opinions, but you're going to get difference of opinions even if you're on the same page. And I think that's what people mistake about this idea that you can't grow and evolve. You can have the same concept, and that concept look completely different to somebody else. That's enough fucking confrontation and conflict to learn and grow and evolve from. It does not have to be on the negative side of that. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that people say that shit. Like, sometimes you need destructive criticism, but not the kind of destructive criticism that's breaking you down, hitting below the belt. You don't even care about what I care about. How the fuck are we on the same page? That is not the same thing. Like, fuck out of here with that shit. You are going to have differences of opinions, even with people who are on the same page with you. Rest assured, by the simple fact that you might be an Aquarius and that other person might be a Libra. You are going to see them from an Aquarius is in the 11th house. So if you're looking at a clock, you're looking at it from the 11th house perspective, the 11 o'clock hand perspective. And if you're a Libra, you're looking at it from a 7 o'clock perspective. You understand what I'm saying? You're still seeing different angles of the same issue. That is healthy challenges and things of that nature. Not somebody who has absolutely motherfucking nothing to do with what you're doing, what you're into, how you feel about it. I'm telling you right now, those two things aren't the same. And if you think that they are, you need to go talk to somebody. Okay, because everybody's different and sees things from different perspectives. But in order for people to work together on one accord, like a bottom line and what it is you're trying to build, if your bottom line is not the same person's as that bottom line, you have no business in that fucking relationship with that person. The bottom line needs to be the same. You're going to have different perspectives, and that's going to be the challenge, but that is a healthy challenge. When you got somebody who does not have the same bottom line, you have no fucking business having any kind of conversations with those people. I digress. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to swear so much, but I had to get that out because I think people really do confuse the two, which is sad. It's really fucking sad. And here you are trying to be the good fucking Samaritan, and you like, you know what, maybe I should try to have a conversation with this person and da 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 da, and wondering why the shit's not working out because they don't want the same fucking thing that you want. There is no reason why two people cannot have a conversation and that shit. Like, why do people think that conflict is what it means to be in some kind of conversation? It makes me crazy. Those two things are not the same. Because you can have the same bottom line and be in a relationship, a partnership, a friendship with somebody who squares your sign. That's all the conflict you need. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there are so many different aspects of this that I think we're so one-dimensional that it's really just unfortunate. And so education is the key here, family. But anywho, again, high vibrational Aquarius can care less about these types of things. Where am I? Hold on, guys, because I'm pretty sure I lost my damn spot. Yeah, I did. Right. So a A high vibrational Aquarius is it's doing its own thing on its own terms, not having to fit in, not having to fit into a group, association, or with friends or any of that. And so a lot of this could be about assessing how you feel when you're working with someone in a group or in a relationship. Does it bring you down? Does it drain you? Or does it make you want to run for the hills? You know, and depending on how it makes you feel is what it's telling you. Um, I don't want to say that you have to leave because it's more to it than that. Anxiety will give you some flight or fight responses, but you do have to be able to assess, like, do your pros and cons. You know, what is it I'm getting out of this group, and what am I not? If one is higher than if the negatives are higher than the positives, you probably don't belong in that group. You can find another group. It's not the end of the world. But if you got more positive than negatives, it's worth assessing that maybe it's you that has some problems, some internal things that you have to address. Some of these things can be around women, women you don't trust, people that you don't tell everything to. This can include a lot of testing people to see what they do with the information that you give them, to see if they're trustworthy. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't do the testing stuff. I'm very straightforward. I'm going to give you your cards up front. But again, some people believe that this shit is the right way to go about things. This is why I like only dealing in business with other people, because with business comes a structure. And when you have a structure, like, so say for an example, if you come to me for a coaching session, I'm giving you some paperwork to fill out what it is. We have what it is you are looking for to see if I can help you. Right. And so this could be as simple on a personal level, as simple as you asking enough questions to see if y'all are even on the same page, if the vibration is there, you know, checking folks' vibes by just having small talk and asking questions and seeing where things go. Um, um, and this is like your brand, you know, so you always want to make sure you're talking about the things that you're passionate about, that you care about, and that you show up that way. You know, people can clearly go to your page, um for example, your social media page, and be like, oh, I can see she's really real about what she says because that's all she posts about. You know what I'm saying? Like, there should be some kind of correlation or connection to your day-to-day life as opposed to the conversations that you're having with people when you meet them, right? Another step in the coaching is you give out all your rules. These are boundaries, right? And so as a coach, I would say we're working as a team. This is not me helping just you. So that means you have to participate. There needs to be some kind of give and take, right? You tell me what you want. You tell me what you're struggling with. I tell you how I can help you, and I give you resources, right? On a personal level, these are boundaries. I can't really say that I agree with this, and that, or that, and this, but I love the fuck out of this, and that, and that, and this. You know, what you accept and what you don't accept. I don't do the testing. I don't even know why I put that word in there because it's a trigger for me. You are going to know up front when we meet what exactly it is I need from you. And if you choose to stay, I'm going to expect you to show up. And if you don't, there's going to be conversations about that. I'm going to have to check in to make sure, you know, like, what's going on? Is everything okay? These types of things are important. And if other people don't like it, that's too bad. But it is going to be your responsibility to hold people accountable so that you more so not holding them accountable because you're taking care of them or keeping up with them, or you're their mother or their nurturer, or that's your job. But it's kind of like a point of reference. Like, let me ask, because what your actions are showing me is this, but what I'm looking for is that. And so if I'm not getting what I'm looking for, I need to be able to make sure that you're not going through something, something's not coming up, or that I'm not uh how do you say, like, not seeing things for what they really are. You understand what I'm saying? You could just be, I don't know why, it's just one of them days when I want to be on this, like, you could be going through something. Then it might look like to other people something else that it doesn't. You should also, as a person, be able to say that if you are, and let people know, like, I'm just tapped out. I'm probably going to be like this for what amount of time. But it should go both ways. But you can only be responsible for yourself too. And so it's like, how do you make sure that um, that it is what it is? And that's just the ability to be able to ask questions when people show up other than how they normally do, and or putting your boundaries up and letting people know what you will and will not accept. Um, and so when you're giving these people this information to test them to see if they're trustworthy, does it empower you? Does it lift you up? And does it make you happy? These are some of the questions that you could be asking yourself at this time. A lot of the times this can show up as very up and down, wherever this is in your chart. So the Libra area of your chart, it's already lit up with the South Node there. And then the Aquarius area of your chart, which is it's trining. So those two areas can be very well lit up, but it can also show some kind of up and down in that area of life. This could be things like anger, rejection, rage. It could be standing up for your rights. You can experience injustice, speaking up when not in equal partnerships. Libra doesn't like fighting, but when someone refuses to compromise, it can be violent, and it can lead to people giving second, third chances. But when they don't do it, when it's not reciprocated, what you're looking for, people will start to fight back. In relationships, it's going to be important to have balance and fairness. This could also bring up intimacy issues in relationships. There can be conversations about business partners not pulling their weight. Libra's ruled by Venus. And so we can see things around female rights and fairness to people. People want to be loved, not because they're beautiful, not because they're Venusian, or that because they might feel like they're an object or a trophy wife, but for what they're good at, or what their smarts and intelligent, what they bring to the table, what they can provide, what kind of resources do they have. Which is, I think that's another misconception in our culture, is that people might see you as, if you want to be with somebody who has money, they'll see you as gold diggers. If you want to be with somebody who has a nice car, you're seen as materialistic. And Venus is very materialistic, right? It's ruled by Taurus and Libra. And Taurus is all about material items, art, the things that you buy. But on the higher vibration, those are also the things. Taurus is also the things that you need: somebody who can budget, save money, who has resources, funding, financial savings, and your material items. You can be materialistic, but it could also be, I think of hoarders, right? That might not be the word people might want to think about, but I think of hoarders as people who hoard stuff that you might need in case of an emergency. This is somebody who knows how to hunt, who has backup flashlights, and all these things might sound real lame, but if we take this back in the days, these things would make you somebody seen as a wealthy person to be in a marriage with, a significant other, because we're going back to the nuclear family. Somebody who knows how to fix a car, who can build a house, who's good with their hands, things like that. A handyman, a maintenance man. these are considered honorable things to be considered as a mate or a husband or, whatever. And so, you can take those ideas however you want. I just think in today's society that a lot of the materialism aren't those things, they're, again, the cars, the money, um, somebody's, what do they call these high valued men, you know, um, and things of that nature. And it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad because it it trickles down to, you know, women who might, it becomes grouped into one, that once that one person comes to you like that, now all women are like that or all men are like that, when that's simply just not true. And so that's a huge problem I think that we have from that today. But whatever. People might try to seduce you. People might enjoy the idea of someone looking like an ass to gain their affection. So this is what we call a simp culture, right? There's a whole problem with that. And so your ability could be that you're emotionally secure as a man, and that woman sees you as weak now today, right? Um, you can openly express your emotions, your feelings, and what it is you want, and say when you're hurt or you want more. I need more from you. And that's seen as simp culture, or that you actually want to take care of your woman and do those kind of nuclear family things depending on your financial status, right? Maybe this doesn't have anything to do with finances. You're just good at painting. You can build stuff, you can make stuff, and those are things that you want to do for your woman, and that's seen as simp culture now today. It's fucking disgusting, but welcome to America. Um, what else? You might attract jealous or possessive partners. And a man's chart, again, this can represent him thinking that all women are bitches and just want money. In a woman's chart, she can think that all men want the same thing, which is sex, pretty much. I mean, let's keep it above. We can go on shopping sprees and want to go to parties and social events and want attention. We can have we can gain, as women, we can gain a lot of male friends, and and men can expect women to be objects, like trophy wives. I feel like I've already touched on, but um, there could be some expectations about those things now. I'm trying to think what would be a healthy idea of a trophy wife. Somebody who knows how to carry themselves in a submissive way. So somebody who dresses down, doesn't dress like a whore or a slut. Sorry. That's the opposite of somebody expecting you to dress or present yourself in a specific kind of way. Um, I mean, coming out of Virgo, this could definitely be about hygiene and how you keep up with yourself. But I think what this is saying is like that idea that men might want you barefoot and pregnant, right? So other ways to look at that is you might attract a lot of men, or men might be looking for women who know how to carry themselves like a woman, who kind of dress down. They're not out there, they're not out in the streets, they're not doing the most, to get attention or anything like that. You can tell they're authentically just a woman in their nature and their feminine energy. So yeah. As mutual family, I love and appreciate you. Hope you found this information helpful. Peace.